What is going on, guys? Spiteful is back again, coming at you with a PvP ranking list. Now this time around we're going to be doing it on the top 5 characters that I believe. Now keep in mind that this is my opinion based on my experience testing various accessories, various options, various ways to actually play the game. I'm going to be giving my take on each character and why I believe they are listed where they should be listed based on my experience in third seat and Captain's League dependent when on Mikael's account. Keep in mind Mikael's account is completely stacked. My account's relatively stacked as well. Now we're going to be going over the top 5 characters for each attribute, and now I will be doing a honorable mention for each character that I believe should have been in like a top 10, but I feel like top 5 is more than enough because there's a lot of factors that go into PvP. There's a lot of RNG that goes into PvP. So first and foremost is consistency. Now, if a character is consistent, they'll be doing the same thing over and over and over again, whether that's winning or getting completely destroyed. So let's go right into it. So 5th on the list, I'm gonna have to give it to Manga Byakuya. Now keep in mind honorable mentions are Kendo Kenpachi, who's still somewhat relevant due to his poise and flurry. His issue right now is that Toshiro is so damn fast that you're probably gonna get frozen or potentially die due to the fact that you have low stats, low average stats, due to the fact that he's an older character. His character is like about over a year old now, which is insane. Another honorable mention, I'm gonna have to give it to Ikaku. That enhancer with 20-second, like that 20-second buff is enormous, guys. That can change like the flow of the battle entirely. Unfortunately, Ikaku's nat string is pretty terrible. It's hard for him to get off the entire nat string. Not to mention the fact that since Blue Kenpachi has been pumped out relatively often, you're most likely going to run into several Blue Kenpachis who will pretty much do the job that he does, except better. So if you have Blue Kenpachi, I'd recommend running him and completely skipping the option of Ikaku, to be honest. Now Manga Byakuya has relatively high stats. Unfortunately, I do feel that he was quite shafted. Sure, his multipliers are good, like Bruiser 30%, Berserker 40%, but honestly with his shield, I believe that he isn't a bad character at all. The things I like about his shield is the fact that even if your character has flurry, for example Noitora still requires 3 nat hits, like not counting flurry, like 3 actual nat hits for the shield to actually be worn off. Now that's incredibly huge because that is a nat string is more than enough time to change the entire flow of the battle. It could be the time it takes to knock off a super, knock off a special, like knock off a strong attack. So you never know what's going to happen. Also, he has the Arankar killer advantage, so he will be going up against who's a blue that you're going to want to pair him up against, like Salaporo or Baragon or Ulquiorra, Grimjow's. Like there are plenty of Arankars in PvP that you could be paired up against. In the off chance you get paired up against a Noitora, like he has killer advantage there, so you'll be dealing at least a little bit more attack to him. That being said, obviously you don't want to be paired up against a Noitora because Noitora has Captain Killer as well and type advantage, so rip Byakuya, but I mean it is what it is. So I'll give it to Byakuya just because of the fact he does have support for the entire team. He does have a full screen strong attack, and his stats aren't actually bad. It's just I wish it could be better. I mean, like, he's a manga character, you know what I mean? That's what I expect. That being said, his second strong attack does have a 40-second cooldown, so chances are you will only be able to use your shield once, and I highly recommend that you do not opt for a strong attack recharge time for PvP. You're much better off going with damage reduction, dodge, or even normal attack damage if that's what you got. The good thing about him is even if you have Chappies on, since he has bombardment, he's still going to deal a good chunk of damage.
He can send Jacob, bitch.
Not only that, but with weakened defense as his special move effect, the bombardment is amplified even further. Not only that, but your entire team's going to be dealing more damage, assuming that they're not already dead or that your team's obviously alive. Usually by the course of that time where you get your super, there's already a lot of damage that's been dished out. Alright, 4th on the list, I'll have to give it to Ulquiorra, White Day version. Now, White Day Ulquiorra, when he came out, was one of the characters that you wanted to aim for, him and Byakuya, but honestly Ulquiorra is the only one in my opinion that has lasted the test of time. Now keep in mind that he is an Arankar Espada, but with a soul trait of decreased damage taken 16%, he's gonna be taking less damage. Not only that, but he has a freaking heal built into his character, so bringing him with Chappies and straight up damage reduction, this dude is literally like nuts. 30-second cooldown on his heal, so it's not even the 40 seconds. With full damage reduction, yo, that heal may let me reiterate this. That heal can and will go off several times in a PvP match should your opponents not be able to dish out sufficient damage to your damage reduction character. He does have Killer of Soul Reaper, so not only will he be taking less damage due to his damage reduction, but he pretty much has killer advantage against more than 70% of the units in the game. Keep in mind that my list is primarily Soul Reaper, so he has an edge when it comes to that. All right, third on the list, and I'm still a little torn with this because I know that she's very good. Now, third on the list, we do have Lost Agent Soulfon. Now, she is one step. She's like 40 steps higher than Tag Team Soulfon. Like, let me start there. With the spiritual pressure of 725, attack is 645. She has a very good attack for a character with Frenzy. Soul Reaper Captain, strong attack cooldown 14%. Chances are she might actually get off a first strong attack, which is good. Her base stamina is over 1000. Not only that, but she has a Rankar killer advantage, so she's going to be dealing a lot of damage to pretty much the entire meta. Now, the meta, for the most part, are Soul Reaper Captains and a Rankar Espadas. So if you have a Rankar Soul Reaper killer advantages, those are incredibly crucial when it comes to PvP, because that's extra damage that you could be dealing, especially for a character with Frenzy with a room-wide strong attack. Like, her third has incredibly high range. She has poison on all of her strong attacks with Debilitator. She's insane. So for PvP, I'll have to give it to her for third place. Now, second on the list, I'm gonna have to give it to Tag Team Koga. Now, Koga is insane, guys. Like, giving him decreased damage taken 20%. If you could slap on 80% damage reduction on this fool, he'll go nuts. He's not a captain, so he only has Soul Reaper, so characters with Captain K advantage it's not going to matter to him. Not to mention he has Soul Reaper and Captain Killer, so he is dubbed the Kenny Killer for for a good reason, man. Like, his attack is 687, not crazy high, but you're gonna want to put chappies on him anyways. 663 spiritual pressure. Keep in mind that if you want to build him hybrid and not put chappies on him, but just like raise his attack or even his spiritual pressure, his strong attack 3 is one of the strongest in the game with 3009 as the mag. Inflicts weakening on all of his strong attacks except for the first, which inflicts burn. So he does have the potential of completely neutering your opponent and cutting off their testicles where it stands. So honestly, Tag Team Koga is one of my favorite units and is one of the only units that has evaded me despite putting like 7,000 orbs into this fool. Another thing to note is that he does have Frenzy and he does have a bruiser of 30%, which is about average, but at the same time, keep in mind that in PvP, every little bit helps. Every single little advantage you can take will always help you. Not only that, he is an incredibly consistent character. He is an incredibly tanky character, whether you like it or not. And his only real counter is Manga Toshiro, which Toshiro's broken. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think everyone knows that he's going to be first on my list for that. Now, alright, so we're going to move on to number 1. First on the list is Fullbring Ichigo. Now, Fullbring Ichigo was released in the Lost Agent Deathberry banner. That came out approximately 3 to 4 months ago. And he literally dominated when he first came out. He destroys any hollow killer. So keep in mind that since he came out with the killer of hollow, he completely nullifies any hollow that he's paired up against. So he destroys any Hogyoku Aizens. Back in the day, he was still run with gold chappies. No, gold chappies weren't a thing back then. So he like pretty much destroyed any single hollow, which means characters such as Anniversary Ichigo just don't even have a chance in PvP just because of that. Now, keep in mind that he does have a crazy high spiritual pressure. He was made to last. Now, this character has a crazy fast activation time with his third skill. 721 spiritual pressure, still very, very good. His mags are relatively high with his strong attack 3, consisting of 2323 damage, which is actually incredible. Keep in mind that he does multi-hit. And I'm not even talking about the frenzy. I'm talking about the multi-hit. His third skill hits 3 times, causing enormous amounts of damage, possibly destroying any blue character on your opponent's field aside from Blue Kenpachi, which Blue Kenpachi still will take a lot of damage. Now, the benefits of having a frenzy team, like a strong attack damage team, is that your special, like the soul bombs, are always going to be relevant. Fullbring Ichigo, should he not destroy with 1 super, which he honestly should, will leave your opponents with weakened attack, which if there's even 1 or 2 left, they now can't really deal much damage to begin with. So there's that. So keep in mind that he also has enormous amounts of range on his first and second strong attack, his first being a lunge. So even though you won't be using your third skill or your second skill often, he'll literally hit across the entire screen, and then his second will literally destroy anyone that's alive. Like, And if that's not enough, then he still has his first, which is a lunge with frenzy, which deals massive amounts of damage. So even if your opponent gets close to you, you're still knocking them the hell out. So it is what it is. So that is why I think Ichigo is first on the list for that. Alright, and with that being said, that is my top 5 technique units for PvP. Keep in mind that this all may change in a couple days depending on who K-Lab decides to announce. So at number 5 I have Manga Byakuya, number 4 White-tailed Ulquiorra, number 3 Soulfon. White-tailed Ulquiorra and Soulfon are very, very close, I think. Ulquiorra Ulquiorra demands a lot more tankiness to make him a lot more viable because you do rely on that heal. And then at number 3 I have Soulfon with Tag Team Koga coming in at number 2. And of course he alone stands at the top for bringing Ichigo. He's just insane. He's changed the game. You have to build your entire PvP against him in particular. So yeah, he's number 1 and he probably will be for a long time. I'm gonna separate these videos into 5 videos. I was gonna make it one long video, but the video ended up being like 30 minutes. And I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, so I will leave it at that. I'll separate them, put them all together, and I will leave the video there. Y'all know what it is, guys. Grind on, catch me up, hit me up, stay blessed. I'll try to pump these videos out in the next 2 to 3 days. I've been wanting to put it out for the last like 2 weeks, but oh man, work has been crazy right now lately. So I'm like working like crazy hours. I'm trying to do YouTube. I'm trying to play other video games. I'm trying to grind Dokkan, the world tournaments out, but I'll leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all. See you on the next one, and peace. As usual, if you guys are interested in discounted orbs, all the information is inside my Discord. Feel free to join. Pretty much like if y'all want to chill and whatnot, we're a pretty chill group. We help with raids, extreme co-op, inheritance, pretty much all you need, especially if you're a newer player and need help with like raids and whatnot. But yeah, if you guys are interested in discounted orbs, all the information is in the Discord, from the procedure and how it works and how everything goes down and whatnot. Feel free to inquire within. And yeah, I guess I will leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.